Good evening, everybody. It's Pastor Mark McDonald with First United Methodist Church of Batesville with a word of encouragement and a weekly update this evening. I want to encourage you to stay strong. I know we still have cases going up and down, and our building is still closed, so we're doing most of our activities online or outside, but we are staying active. I cannot tell you, I see people all over the place doing things. We had a trustees work day this last week outside, and they did some incredible hard work out in front of the church. It was a Saturday evening instead of a Saturday morning, and we had a good crowd. It was a blast, and we're going to do that once a month while the weather's permitting because it's a cooler time of day, and there's also just about a 2-hour window before it gets dark, so you don't have to worry about being stuck up here with some projects. But we got some shrubs trimmed back and pulled out, and a great big shrub pulled out completely. Got some more work to do in September, so watch for information about that. It was a fun day. We also have our normal things going on. Our breakfast last week served 114 meals. I think that's the high that we've had during the COVID crisis, but it's clearly reaching a need in our community. Our blessing box continues to empty out every day, so we have volunteers that check that several times throughout the day. We are in need of donations. The breakfast, if you'd like to donate just to food ministries, it will help us do that breakfast as well as our blessing box, but you can designate it to either one, and we'll make sure that it helps it out. If you want to help with any of those, please reach out to me or the church office, and we'll find out what we can do to help with that. Watch for other things that are going on. Our ministry coordinators are the people who were elected as ministry coordinators, like worship coordinator, witness coordinator, outreach coordinator. I meet together with them almost every single week through a Zoom call. So we have a weekly ministry meeting to make sure that as we're working shoulder to shoulder, that the things going over in worship are working with the things going on in nurture and education, that our youth and our children and adults, that we're doing things shoulder to shoulder. And I appreciate that group so much. We have revamped our purpose, and we are looking for ways that we can be even more supportive and more focused on ministry during the time that our building is closed. I've shared with you before that we're waiting for the 14 days of decline to be able to reopen our building and use it for some ministries. And we're looking at all possibilities for that even. But right now, we are looking for new ideas of ways to be engaged, to stay connected. Some of you have already started in your shepherd groups. We've had cottage meetings during the month of August. I'm going to have one final one, which I will announce next week. So watch for that. For those of you who may have missed a cottage meeting with your shepherd group, I'm going to have one more big Zoom call. But I want to have a chance to hear back from you. And what we're looking for are ideas that you have. Maybe you've seen them in other churches, maybe friends' churches that are doing this in here in town or other places. How can we stay connected? How can we not only stay strong, but grow stronger during our time of separation? So if you have some suggestions, post them here in the Facebook or the YouTube comment section. Send me an email or a message. Call the church office. Leave a message. Let me know. I'll call you back. I'll text. I'll write. Whatever we need to do. Share some of those ideas because we are in the midst of some really fun brainstorming on ways that we can just come alive in this time until we get to use the building again, but not just for that time. Things that we're going to start now that are going to make us the church of tomorrow, make us stronger, whether the building's open or closed. We're going to continue to grow through this. So share those ideas with me. A couple other things going on just so you'll know. In the newsletter this week, look on the front page. There is a reminder about Amazon Smiles. That is the nonprofit support program. I do all my Amazon orders, which of course, probably like you, I do a lot more of those now these days, but I do it through the Smile website. It's real simple to do. Amazon Smiles will take a small portion of whatever you order from Amazon, and they will send that to our church. Once a quarter, we get a check for a donation that helps us in our ministries. So if you're ordering through Amazon, make sure you look at the newsletter. Let us know if you have any questions about that. But you simply you sign up with Amazon Smile, and then you log in through that website and place your orders through it. It's the same Amazon website, just as smile.amazon.com. And it will help us support the ministries of the church. So that's one. Reminder also that last week I announced we are implementing full-time masks in the building. If you come in the building at all, so those who are essential workers, working with our food ministries or staff that come in to work, We're doing this with our contractors too. We ask that you wear a mask all the time while you're inside, just taking extra precautions during this time until we can get over the hump. But if you're in by yourself working in a space, that's okay. But if there's anybody else in the building, we ask that you put those masks on. We're going to make sure that we're not the ones who spread this any further. We want to get rid of this virus as quickly as we can. Lastly, this Sunday is Communion Sunday. So instead of having separate times like we've done in the past, stay tuned during the worship service, and at the very end of that, we will move into communion. Now, this won't stay online the whole time, but you join us for worship, and at the end of the service, we'll move into that time of communion. So this week, you won't have to stop and come back, but we do ask you to prepare your own communion elements, the bread and the juice. Look for ways that you can do that. And then join us for worship this Sunday. I'm excited. It's the last Sunday of the series that we've had on the Sermon on the Mount. I'm always amazed by the way the Word speaks to our needs today. But when you think of the Sermon on the Mount, I've wanted to do a series on this for a long time, for years actually. And I just decided to jump into it, and I wondered how applicable it would be. If you haven't watched those, I encourage you, just go to our YouTube site. You can find it on Facebook. It's easier on our YouTube channel, and you can go back and see all the sermons that were preached during that. But it has been powerful to me to watch how God's Word, when Jesus preached that sermon, how that speaks to the very specific needs we have for today. And so this week is the last one of those as we close out that sermon series. And then we'll be starting some new things in the following weeks. But I hope that you'll be with us this Sunday and know that communion is at the very end of the service, not scheduled separately. If you're listening by radio, we'll have it broadcast on the radio as well. I hope that you have a blessed evening and blessed days ahead of you, and #be a blessing.